Okay, so, you sent over some really interesting stuff about Rajasthan Day,
Uh-huh.
which, as I understand it, is March 30th
Uh,
every year, and it commemorates 1949.
exactly.
So what we want to do today in this deep dive is really explore
Right.
not only why that date is significant,
Okay.
but what makes Rajasthan so fascinating.
Sure.
And you've given us a great jumping off point here with all this material about its history and its culture,
I think it's a really interesting one.
and even how it's kind of moving into the future.
Yeah.
So maybe a good place to start is
Yeah.
with that date, March 30th, 1949.
Well, I think what's striking about that date is that, it's not just any random date.
Right.
It represents the sort of culmination of a very complex process
Yeah.
whereby all these princely states, previously independent,
Yeah.
came together to form this unified state of Rajasthan,
Okay.
which is, as geographically the largest state in India.
So it wasn't always like a single cohesive entity. It was lots of like little kingdoms, essentially.
Yes, Lee.
Okay. Yeah.
Each with its own, history and ruler and
Got it. And so some of the names that jump out at me from the material are Jodhpur,
yes,
Jaipur,
yes.
Bikaner,
Mm-hmm.
Udaipur. Like, were those the main ones, or?
Well, I mean, those names, represent some of the most influential and historically significant of the states.
Gotcha.
I mean, you had the Rathors of Jodhpur, the Kashwahas of Jaipur, the Rathors of Bikaner as well.
Right.
And then, the ancient and proud lineage of Mewar with Udaipur at its heart.
Right.
But, it's important to remember that there were many others.
Right.
And, each of them navigating their own sort of, alliances and rivalries.
Okay.
And the process of unification was less about sort of, just simply merging.
Yeah.
And more about sort of, careful negotiation and compromise to
Gotcha.
kind of weave together these distinct entities
Wow.
into the fabric of, a newly independent India.
So it was like a real tapestry of power and influence all coming together
Exactly.
into this one place.
Mhm.
And something that kind of jumps out at me from the material
Yeah.
is that it's often referred to as the land of valor.
Yeah.
Or the land of battlefields.
Yes.
So clearly it wasn't just about like political treaties and agreements.
Love that.
There's a real sense of like heroism and sacrifice
That's right.
that seems very deeply connected to this place.
Absolutely. I mean,
Right.
if you look at the broader sweep of Indian history,
Right.
Rajasthan's geography placed it at a crucial crossroads.
Yeah.
And consequently, it became the setting for numerous significant conflicts
Okay.
and acts of incredible courage. The stories of figures like Maharana Pratap, who
Yeah.
for so long resisted Mughal dominance,
Right.
employing these innovative guerrilla warfare tactics in those rugged terrains.
Wow.
And, deeply moving accounts like that of Rani Padmini, choosing self-immolation to protect her honor. These aren't just historical anecdotes.
Right.
They're fundamental to the Rajasthani ethos,
Okay.
embodying ideals of resilience,
Right.
independence, unwavering pride.
And it's fascinating to me that these stories are still told and retold.
Absolutely.
You hear these names and they still carry so much weight.
And,
It's not just like dusty history. It's like a living
Yeah.
part of the region's soul.
yeah.
And I wonder how that then plays into the culture that we see in Rajasthan today.
Right. What I think that's a crucial link to make,
Okay.
is that this deep-seated sense of history and valor
Yeah.
directly informs and enriches the cultural expressions of Rajasthan.
Gotcha.
So take, for example, the Ghumar dance.
Yeah.
Now, while visually captivating with its swirling movements,
Yeah.
its traditional performance often marked important social and celebratory occasions, embodying a sense of community and joy that has endured through generations, possibly even as a form of cultural resilience. And then you have the distinctive attire,
Yeah.
the colorful and intricately tied turbans, the pag,
Yeah.
which often signified a man's, social standing and regional identity.
Okay.
And the beautifully embroidered veils, the odni,
Right.
which speak to both tradition and artistry.
So it really does sound like every thread in their cultural fabric
Yeah.
has like a story woven into it.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of threads,
Yes.
let's talk about the cuisine.
Yeah.
Because there were a few dishes mentioned that sounded amazing.
Right.
Dal bati churma,
Yeah.
gadah ki sabzi,
Yeah.
and the sweet syrupy gavar.
Delicious.
And it just, when you hear about these dishes, it makes you wonder about the resourcefulness
Uh-huh.
and the ingenuity behind these flavors.
Yeah.
So have you ever had a chance to explore those at all, or?
Well, I have delved into the delights of Rajasthani cuisine.
Okay.
And I think what's fascinating is how the environment and available resources have shaped the culinary traditions. So, for instance, dalbati churma, with its use of hardy wheat and lentils,
Right.
reflects the drier climate.
Makes sense.
The preparation methods like baking the bodies over charcoal
Right.
also speak to, traditional cooking practices.
Uh-huh.
And gatta ki sabzi, made from gram flour, showcases how simple ingredients
Right.
can be transformed into flavorful and nutritious dishes.
Right.
So, each dish has a story rooted in the land and its people.
To you, our listener, if you haven't had a chance to try these, Rajasthan Day might be the perfect excuse to branch out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to something that kind of visually defines Rajasthan for so many people
Yes.
is the architecture.
Yes. The architecture is breathtaking.
And the material highlighted a few, like the world-famous forts and palaces,
Yes.
like the Hawa Mahal in Jaipur,
Yes.
the city of Lakes Udaipur,
Uh,
the Golden Fort of Jaisalmer.
yes.
And these are like not just structures,
Yes.
they really evoke a sense of wonder.
They do.
It's almost like stepping into another era.
Absolutely.
So can you tell us a bit about what shaped these architectural marvels?
Well, you're right. They're truly captivating.
Yeah.
And what's remarkable is the fusion of different Rajput architectural styles
Okay.
that evolved over centuries,
Right.
often influenced by regional geography and even interactions with other empires.
Gotcha.
So the Hawa Mahal, with its intricate lattice work,
Yeah.
wasn't just for aesthetics.
Right.
It served a functional purpose, allowing royal women to observe the goings-on outside
Right.
while maintaining their privacy.
I see.
Udaipur's lake palaces showcase a sophisticated understanding of water
Mm.
and its integration into architecture, creating stunning visual harmony.
Right.
And Jaisalmer's fort, built from local yellow sandstone,
Mm-hmm.
blends seamlessly with the desert landscape, a testament to sustainable building practices adapted to its environment.
Oh.
And we also see influences from Mughal architecture in some later structures, reflecting the complex political and cultural exchanges of the time.
So really just layers of history and artistry
Absolutely.
in every arch and pillar, and
Right
it's
on.
no wonder that UNESCO recognizes them.
Yeah.
And the sheer number of tourists that they attract, it's a credit year just speaks volumes about their enduring appeal.
Mm.
They're not just relics of the past, they're
Mhm.
living assets.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the present day,
Yeah.
these architectural gems are not only vital to Rajasthan's cultural identity,
Right.
but also play a significant role in its economy through tourism.
Yeah.
So, their preservation and careful management are crucial,
Right.
not just for maintaining heritage, but also for sustainable economic development.
Makes sense.
It's a delicate balance
Yeah.
between cherishing the past and embracing the future.
And that kind of leads us perfectly into modern Rajasthan,
Yes.
because it's really fascinating to me to see how a state so rooted in history
Yes.
is also so actively pursuing progress.
Absolutely.
The material touched on initiatives in solar energy,
Yeah.
advancements in education, and of course,
Yeah.
the continued growth of that tourism sector. So
Right.
it really seems like Rajasthan is consciously trying to navigate that path of
Exactly.
honoring its heritage,
Yes.
but embracing new opportunities.
I think what's particularly interesting is how Rajasthan is leveraging its unique strengths
Okay.
while addressing contemporary challenges.
Okay.
So the focus on solar energy is a prime example.
Right.
Given its geographical location and abundant sunshine,
Right.
Rajasthan has become a leader in solar power generation in India,
Gotcha.
contributing significantly to renewable energy goals.
Uh-huh.
In education, there are ongoing efforts to improve literacy rates
Right.
and provide access to quality education across the state,
Yeah.
recognizing that human capital is a key to future progress.
Makes sense.
And as we've discussed, the tourism industry continues to evolve
Yeah.
with a focus on sustainable and responsible practices
Uh,
that benefit local communities
right.
while showcasing Rajasthan's cultural and natural heritage.
Yeah, so it's a story of adaptation and innovation,
Exactly.
built upon a strong foundation of tradition.
Yeah.
So as we consider Rajasthan Day,
Yes.
it's not just like a historical date. It's
Mhm.
really like a continuous narrative.
Absolutely.
The coming together of these diverse kingdoms, the enduring spirit of its people,
Yes.
the beauty of its architecture,
That's right.
and its determined march towards the future.
Absolutely.
It's really a state with a powerful story.
It is. I mean, Rajasthan Day offers us an important opportunity
Yeah.
to reflect on and value this incredibly rich and multifaceted heritage
Uh-huh.
by understanding its historical journey,
Right.
appreciating its vibrant culture,
Yeah.
and recognizing its ongoing development.
Yeah.
We and future generations can truly grasp the significance
Right.
and take pride in
Yeah.
being connected to this remarkable state.
Well, to you, our listener, thank you so much for sharing this compelling material with us
Yes.
and for joining us on this illuminating deep dive into the heart of Rajasthan.
Yeah.
I hope this has given you a deeper appreciation
Yeah.
for this incredible part of India.
It is incredible.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and any reflections you have.
Absolutely.
So please do get in touch.
Yeah.
It's clear that our exploration today is just scratching the surface.
Yes.
There are always more layers to uncover
Absolutely.
and new stories to discover.
Yes.
So with that, Jai Rajasthan, Jai Hind,
Namaste.
Namaste.
And on that note, a final thought to ponder.
Okay.
In a world that's rapidly changing,
Yeah.
how does a state with such a strong sense of its historical and cultural identity
Uh-huh.
successfully adapt and innovate while staying true to its unique spirit?
Right.
It's a fascinating question to consider as Rajasthan continues its journey.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.